Hey everybody, Stephen here with a fresh out of the theater reaction to The Color Purple. Y'all, I ain't even gonna hold you. Go see this movie. Go see this movie. Do not walk, run to your local nearest theater and go see this movie. It is phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal doesn't even describe what it really is. First of all, let's talk about the source material. Alice Walker's The Color Purple. Nothing could touch the book. If you haven't read the book, read the book. Because it informs a lot of the 1980s movie. It informs the Broadway musical, and of course, it informs the movie musical adaptation of this movie, of this material. Now, what I will say is the music works. You know, it was a hit on Broadway. It would not have been a hit on Broadway had it not had the music to back up the story, and had the story not been as faithful as possible for a stage adaptation to this particular book. So we're already basing it off of a hit. Broadway musical was a hit, and we're basing it off of a hit movie that came out in the 80s that introduced the world to Whoopi Goldberg. And off of a hit book. So we're talking hit after hit after hit. So the odds were in its favor as long as it remained true to the source material, which is what the original screen adaptation and the Broadway musical did. This screen musical, or this movie musical, was just as faithful to the source material. And because of that, it's going to be a hit. It is going to be a hit. My theater was packed, and applause broke out after I'm Here, Fantasia. I don't need you to love me. We're going to get to that in just a sec. But applause broke out after that. Applause broke out at the very end. Aw, men. Yes, it was, applause broke out. It was, so good. Now, what I will say is, just like the Broadway musical took a little bit of liberty with the source material, the movie musical took a few liberties with the stage adaptation, the Broadway musical. I'm Here starts out with, I don't need you to love me, because it's the whole Suge, Avery, and Celie breakup scene. And we didn't have that, although kudos to this movie for actually going there with the romance that Suge Avery and Celie actually had. They did not beat around the bush. They just didn't. It was like Suge Avery and Celie have a thing going on. What else? Everybody was well suited to their role. I will say that I side-eyed Sierra as Nettie, because, we're dealing with powerhouse vocalists. We're dealing with Taraji P. Henson, Danielle Brooks, Fantasia Barrino, and that's just the 3 lead characters. And Halle Bailey, who was the young Nettie. Sierra God bless her. I love her. I love watching her perform, but she has never been a powerhouse singer. She is a powerhouse performer, but she's never been a powerhouse singer. What And when she came through with the powerhouse vocals at the very end, I was like, come through, Miss Sierra. I was like, okay. Another person that surprised me. We're going to get into, I'm going to really, really, really try to do a full-length breakdown of this movie, but I'm a big fan of her, right? H-E-R, her. Big fan of her. But every time I see her, she has this real laid back, cool, chill kind of vibe about her. And even in Beauty and the Beast, she did an adaptation for television for the Disney musical Beauty and the Beast. And she played, of course, Beauty, and Josh Groban played the Beast. But even in that, it was still very laid back. It was cool. It was chill. It's like, let's roll a blunt and relax and, turn on some R&B, because that's what her is all about. And so I was like, okay, so she's playing Squeak? Because while her is like down here, Squeak is like way up here. It's like there is nothing low-key and cool and relaxed about Squeak, Mary Agnes, at all. She is as high-strung as possibly can be. And so I was like, well, that's an interesting casting choice. But again, blew it out of the water. I could not believe what I was seeing. I guess Miss Her put the blunts down for a couple of months while they were filming this movie, and was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you high strung. Watch me. And she delivered. I was so impressed. So that's probably what blew me out of the water more than anything else about this movie is unexpected performances. You knew with Fantasia Barrino, Taraji P. Henson, and Danielle Brooks, you already know. Powerhouse. They are going to bring it. I had zero worry. It was with the other supporting cast that just really blew me away. It's such a good movie. It takes liberties here and there. It Suge Avery's arc with her father, if you know, you know, in this movie seems a little bit rushed. And it doesn't feel like it has the breathing room that it should, that it got in the original film. But honestly, even that, I was crying at the end. When I mean, so, and it wasn't just at the end either. I already talked about I'm Here, crying at the end of that, applauding and crying my friggin' face off at the end of that. But there were so many scenes that were so not just brutal, because there was plenty of brutality in that. And that's the other thing. Even though it's a musical, it does not shy away from the actual brutality of what was real in The Color Purple. I was moved with the joy that came out of this film as well. The hope that came out of this film. The so much truth that came out in this film. It moved me in so many places, in so many different places. I am so glad that I went and saw this film. Do yourself a favor. Do not let this movie leave the theater without you watching it. It's so good. I'm going to go see it again. I know I'm going to go see it again. Again, do yourself a favor. Go see this movie. Full breakdown coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have you seen The Color Purple? If so, I want to hear everything you've got to say about it. Please send off down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for commenting. And thank you so much for subscribing. I will see you in the next one, Butter Babies. Bye.